How are you? Welcome back. Today I'll be talking a little bit about grief. I'm side draining myself from children and teenagers, and the reason being there's been so much grief in the world. If you can all attest to this, that there are so many people who have died due to the coronavirus. Say, for example, 1,000 plus in this country. Other countries have their number, and for that reason, whatever remains, the outcome of it is grief. The people who have lost their dear ones, everybody, none of us can say, oh, I don't care. All of us, we have to care, because our neighbors might have been affected, our family member, our friend, and all these people, we are connected. We are supposed to live as a country, as a society. And as you all know, my goal and my aim is to bring the society to have a strong family, to have a strong community, to have a strong society. And so this is the reason I'm talking about grief and how we can deal with grief. What is grief? Grief is this huge distress that comes after somebody has lost somebody or something of value. We know mostly we talk about grief coming from losing somebody, a family member, a friend, or something of value, something you cherish. When that thing is taken out of you, people can grieve out of that. And so the grief to happen, it has a process. If somebody loses a friend, if somebody loses a family member, it just does not hit and remain and say, oh, I'm grieving. It has a pattern, it has a process that it follows. A psychologist who was called Elizabeth Kubler came up with a process that grief follows. And this is what I want to talk about. The grief starts with something we call denial. Denial is a defense mechanism that acts like a cushion. Say, for example, if you are about to fall and somebody keeps a cushion, brings a cushion under you, so when you fall, you just don't land on the floor. It becomes something that will help you not to hurt yourself. And so this is what the denial does. It helps you to kind of say, no, this thing did not happen. By the time you're saying this thing did not happen, or this somebody has not is still with us, then it gives you a moment of processing, and that we call it denial. It is very helpful at the beginning, but it shouldn't last forever, because if denial lasts forever, you remain saying this thing did not happen, the person has not passed away, and so for that reason you'll not be able to deal with the amount of pain, amount of things that are ahead of you. Then after a while, denial now stops, and then something we call anger comes in. People, you can all attest, we have heard people saying, is there a God? Why did he let such a thing happen? Why did God let a pandemic come? So somebody is angry and you're taking your anger out. So by the time you are getting angry, the process is still going on. After a while, then you go to another stage we call bargaining, or bargaining for some people. Bargaining is where you think, oh my goodness, you are trying to kind of make up for what for the loss. And what people normally do, you say, oh, I wish I did this thing for this person. Say, for example, if somebody had asked you for $5 and you said I don't have, and that person got an accident and passed away, you are like, I wish I gave that person. You are trying to make up, but you know the person is not there already. So but you kind of encourage yourself, you kind of keep trying to keep hope alive by bargaining or bargaining. Then after that, we go to a stage we call depression. I have talked about depression, and you can refer to my previous YouTube message about depression. So the depression that we're talking about here is attached to grief. It is not coming because you have a major depression. But the thing is, if this depression lingers for a long time, remember I told you that depression only lasts for 2 weeks to be diagnosed with MDD, or major depressive disorder. So what happens, the depression shouldn't last for long. But the depression due to grief has all the symptoms of depression. Say, for example, you have lost interest of doing things that you like, you're not having energy, you have problem with sleeping, you have issues with eating. All those, the symptoms are the same. And so you are supposed to, somebody's supposed to be there for not too long, and then after that you come out. But if it continues, the depression symptoms continue for a long time, they can be now come the major depressive disorder. Actually, when we are counseling people, we tell people, if you are going through grief, do not take medication due to depression due to grief. Allow yourself to go through the process, because by taking medication you are interrupting the process. But if the depression goes to the next stage and now you can't be diagnosed with depression, at that point you can take medication. But otherwise it will transit, now goes to the last stage, which we call acceptance. Acceptance is the last stage of grief. And this is what happens when people accept this is what has happened, so and so is not with us. And so now it gives you a chance of, now what do I do? How do I deal with this issue? How do I deal with the pain of losing somebody or something? Now I can go to a counselor, or I can go to a friend, and now support team becomes very important. I did my internship with hospice, and what they do normally do, they will work with you for 13 more months. The hospice company that I worked with, they work with you, they work with the survivors for 13 more months, so that they can help you to stabilize, and now again to live a new normal. If somebody was very close to you, if it was a friend, a family member, that person had a spot in your life. And because that spot is now empty, to fill that spot or to stabilize, you need a lot of support. And social support is one of the things. Counseling is another thing. Group therapy is another thing. So you need to attach yourself with other people. Now, the reason I talked about grief today is because the whole world is going through grief. And so we need to attach with each other. For us to stand strong, we need to be there for each other. Be our sister and our brother's keeper. Those people who have lost their dear ones, are we there for them? Those people who have been sick and they went through a lot at that point, are we there for them? Let's remain connected. We can do this. We can remain connected. We can be each other's support team, and we can come out with a strong community, strong family, strong community, and strong society. So I want to encourage you, be there for each other, and let's defeat the grief. Have a good week.